What's up, baby dolls? Mars has been going quite viral lately. The actual planet Mars. And why is that? Well, basically, there's been ancient civilizations on Mars. NASA have been photoshopping them out. And it is pretty much 100% confirmed. This has been going on for a long time. There's just like such a large amount of evidence now. NASA have mapped everything of Mars. I'm going to show you this clip, friends. I'm going to just go dive into it.
I said, is there really a UFO cover-up? And he said, yes. He said, and that's all I can tell you. The rest you can figure out for yourself. Mars was covered with liquid water. I was the one to find the Martian Ocean. We were looking at Cydonia Mensa, which is a site where there's the face and then there's a five-sided pyramid. NASA never shows that picture of the face beside the pyramid together in any of their public photos because it becomes obvious.
Really?
We're looking at archaeology. They kind of made fun of me as the Mars guy, and then suddenly Carl Sagan is trying to get a hold of me, and I said, well, Carl, what'd you think of the pictures? Brandenburg, why are you causing this trouble?
No.
So yeah, Carl Sagan did actually call him back in the day. So this very, very smart man, friends, Dr. Brandenburg. Now, there's an actual place on Mars named after him. I think it's called the Brandenburg River. I think I was gonna get it named. Yeah, so literally he's been the dude. He does all the maths and the physics. Guys, friends, this guy is so smart. This guy is so smart, friends. He's made tests where you can actually prove, I think you can an electric field, you could basically make something way less. So you can actually test gravity manipulation. And he says he made a test, only it cost you like $200. He goes, there's 5 tests he made. And he doesn't go through it. He shows you, he does it. But he goes like, he basically get a balloon, he explains it in here. I don't understand what's going on. Right? The wave and the up and the down, throw a Batman symbol, where's the lollipop? Throw a P-dye pegging in there, get an ETH BTC rally, and then you get something cute happening. But I think they tested a balloon, and the weight went from 100 grams, and then after the negative gravity manipulation, instead of 100 grams, it went to 99.5 grams of weight. You can test it. It's actually quite fascinating. So he's a very, very smart guy. So friends, this is actually wonderful, really wonderful interview. Now, what I'm going to do, friends, I'm going to give you the quick summary of everything, and we'll go through the cute stuff. So I'll show you photos. So these photos, these have been going viral. Okay, this is a floating Tic Tac UFO picture. It's enhanced in terms of the color coordination, but this is the actual real photo here. Do you see this right here? It's taken on Mars by NASA. You see that? It's literally floating, friends. It's literally floating. And then they removed it. Because people are like, hey, that thing is floating. And then NASA are like, what picture? Gone. See, they photoshopped it out. They literally photoshopped it out. I think they photoshopped the shadow as well. It's gone. Crazy. This Tic Tac UFO. Okay, so that's actually been going nuts. So his articles say, Tic Tac, whoa! Mysterious, perfectly smooth Tic Tac UFO spotted on Mars in NASA photos, sending alien hunters into frenzy online. The unsettling discovery comes after years of increasing UFO discussions at the highest level of government. So, yes, NASA being registered, but I'm going to give you the gist, friends, of what I guess the next frontier of UFO disclosure is going to be. All right, and I got it from this Mr. Brandenburg. So let me give it to you now. So basically, friends, let's just have a look at some imagery. So you see Donald Trump. Have a look. Donald Trump. Now, they already found, so this is confirmed, right? They've already found ancient humanoid civilizations on Mars. Okay. These is at the JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in America. You can actually go request these. There's actually there's bones on Mars. Yeah. There's over 100 things that they've seen. They've literally they've mapped everything on there. They've already mapped everything on there. Man, there's so many. Like, look at this. There's literally like a freaking cave entry door on Mars, right? All of these. Okay. There's so many. I'll go on and on and on. Okay. And then when the people alert NASA, they're like, no, there isn't. And then they go change the photo. They brush it out. They do it. Okay. So, ancient humanoid civilizations on Mars. Every inch of Mars has been photographed and mapped. by NASA, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory as well. Now, there's almost very conclusive evidence, friends. There was a cataclysmic nuclear explosion on Mars. Okay? The red planet, the dusty planet. It was a cataclysmic explosion. There is, I think, xenon in the atmosphere. There's only 2 ways you can get it. Okay, this type of isotope, I think. Remember, you gotta forgive me for the words, friends. You know, there's science, majiz. You know what I mean? We're crypto guys. So there's you could, if you want to get this xenon in the atmosphere, you either do a supernova or you do a nuclear bomb. So obviously Mars never went supernova. Impossible. Okay, too small. So the only other possible conclusion is like, whoa, there were bombs there. Something went off, right? So what's actually, I guess, the next path for the US government? The US government will probably disclose that Mars, all right, we found stuff on Mars. And they'll probably talk about the Mars humans first. So they're humanoid, they're us. We came from Mars. But I don't know if we're exactly genetically the same. Maybe we're different. Maybe they were a bit shorter, a bit long. I don't know. Also, when it comes to a lot of the UFO phenomena, it's very obvious now, friends. It's very obvious. The phenomenon, it is controlled by the UFO alien dudes themselves. So it is literally statistically impossible for all these crash sites, all this tech, all these abductions to happen, and the UFO military stuff out here, it's impossible for all of them to happen without worldwide leaks and photos and stuff out here. It's literally impossible. Basically, friends, you and I, we're monkeys in the zoo, and they've constructed reality. And it's very obviously ancient traditions been talking about this Matrix movie. Everything's been talking about for a long time, right? So they control everything. They control when they land their ship and they hand over to the US military. They probably tell them, don't say anything. They control that, okay? And it's in our best interest, so we don't get the ontological shock, you know? And that, but look, it is what it is. Like, they're the wise ones. They know how the game is played, Civilisation. They know that, you know, maybe if they come in here, we worship them too much. Maybe they come out, oh, Mr. Alien, we want to worship you. You have amazing technology. They're like, no, we don't want you to see us like gods or anything. Maybe that's what it's like, okay? So it's very obvious they are controlling it. That's why a lot of people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, where's my alien cigarette lighter? You know, we don't ask up stupid questions like that. You're literally going, bro, you go in the middle of it, go to the zoo and go to the monkey, go, oh, monkey, you know, if human cars were real, find me a tire, little monkey. What's a monkey gonna do, man? All he can do is eat bananas, scratch his ass, and fling poop at people. Right, that's what we can do. We are fish inside the fish bowl, but you don't know you're a fish in a fish bowl. Okay? So the next step, friends, is probably, it seems very likely, right? They're gonna go and talk about the stuff on Mars. Because, here's the thing, right? It's safe, ontologically safe for us to learn about it. Why? So they'll say, oh, we found structures on Mars. We found something on Mars. Let's go investigate. Then they go there. Then the US government does the whole dressing up of like, oh, then we have to go dig stuff. And they'll eventually find things. And then eventually, whoa, we found bones. We found the structure. Whoa, dude. But remember, why is that okay? Yeah, people get shocked to introduce a bit. But so people will realize, oh, there's intelligent life out there. But they're dead. Don't worry, they're dead. They died a long time ago, right? Because that makes you feel safe. They're not alive right now. It just seeps society's brainwave into that. They'll probably, you know, send those teams over to Mars, do the digging, archaeological sites and stuff. Now, obviously, friends, with the nuclear explosion stuff, they obviously blew themselves up or something. That's what probably the US government will end up finding out over the next, you know, who knows, 10 to 100 years. They'll say, let's find out what happened on Mars. Why is it wiped out? It used to have an atmosphere. It used to have water. What happened to it? So Dr. Brandenburg as well, he explains in the, he pretty much explains in the video. So Mars was going to lose its atmosphere anyway, I think, but this explosion probably accelerated it. But they were gone before that anyway. Who's they? We don't know. Let's go find out. Well, I don't know either. No one knows. Part of the simulation. What a nice story, isn't it, friends? Isn't it just like such a perfect story for us? Oh, there's aliens out there. No. Like, it's like kind of like, okay, it's like instead of going from level 2 to level 10 in a video game, you know, okay, we're going to level 3 now. We're progressing the story. It's such a perfect, it's like humans, but on another planet. It's Mars. It's next to us. We can go there. Very, very simple. And they have bones like us. They're not like insectoid aliens. They're not like wisp light beings or anything, right? They were like humans just like us. And I'm sure if they go and they figure out, hey, what actually happened, you know, maybe they'll come to something, yeah? Was there a fight? Were they attacked? That's, I don't think we'll find it. Did they fight each other? Yeah. Did someone come out and just blow them to pieces? Is that what the government wants, by the way? Where they go, hey, you know, we better find out what if they were blown to pieces by another alien race? Huh? That sucks. We got to make sure that doesn't happen to us. There's always a story with humans, right? We're always moving into something else. We'll probably be dead by then. We'll see. Remember, friends, even Donald Trump already hinted on Joe Rogan that there's possibly life out there on Mars. You remember that? He did say that. Let's just have a quick listen, friends. Donald Trump.
I get that question as much as almost any question. Do you think that we have aliens coming, you know, flying around or whatever?
What do you think?
I mean, there's no reason not to think that Mars and all these planets don't have life, you know, because
Mars, we've had probes there and rovers, and I don't think there's any life there.
Well, maybe it's life that we don't know, but
maybe there was life there at one point in time. This is the speculation about Mars, that Mars had an atmosphere at one point in time, a long time ago, that could support life. It also had large bodies of water, but we've had no evidence of even bacterial life that exists on Mars. Some super sophisticated.
But I did interview, let's say, 3 or 4 guys and without tremendous interest, if you had them, as I said, you'd love to have them as your children. Solid, beautiful people. They said, sir, there's something there. You know, there's something there. Yeah.
So when you were talking to these people, was this something that you were compelled to have conversations about? Was this your personal interest?
A little bit. It's not a great interest for me, but
interesting. I'll be honest, man. Where this whole topic of Mars just appears out of nowhere. Elon starts talking about Mars out of nowhere. Oh, Mars. Let's go to Mars. It's like the next programming. Oh, let's go to Mars. Let's go figure out what's on there. But I remember when I was a kid. Still am a kid. I remember as a kid, I was like, "There's totally nothing on Mars. There's literally nothing. The whole thing's smooth as eggs, just dust. No one can live there. Nothing's ever happened there. Nothing." And like the story's been slowly progressing. Oh, we find this thing slowly. It's like you never have this big shock, right? You never can guess the ending. Now, all of this is a soft path to let the civilian population know of aliens in the universe. Okay, that's what it pretty much comes down. It's very, very obvious, right? You remember, friends, the Israeli former space security chief? Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. This is in 2020. A Galactic Federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. Haim Eshed. Let's see if there's his photos here somewhere. Here he is in Google Images. Haim Eshed. Yeah. Yeah, so it's obviously he just leaked it. But that is true, friends. It is true. So we're just like little baby monkeys and kind of figures, it makes sense, right? Let's go to Mars. See, did they blow themselves up or were they attacked? You know, the alien race come out and attack them. Did they fight with each other? How do they get these nuclear bombs? Really weird. Strange. No, it's mystery. It's a mystery. Humans, we go do this and we go learn about ourselves and it might tell everybody, oh crap, let's not do what, you know, they did back then because then life's precious. We just blow each other up and then it's over. Also at Roswell, friends, pretty much Dr. Brandenburg, they confirm as well. Roswell had a shitload of UFOs appearing because it had when we first made the nuclear weapons, I think it was all when there were 4 or 6, let's say all 4 nuclear weapons in the world, the first 4, they were all in Roswell together. Yeah. And then he said there was just UFO, like they were there all the time. They're like appearing all the time. There's like so many every month. They're just appearing, and because they just had like, because that's why Mr. Aliens are like, oh my gosh, they figured out how to blow each other up. Imagine save the monkeys. That's us. It's kind of funny to think about. And then humans are like, hey, we separate the bombs. We got to start doing some stuff. That's why they come out. They have a hand in how they pretty much. How they operate with revealing stuff to us. So the Israeli professor, he leaked that there's a Galactic Federation. It sounds so Star Trek-ish, science fiction, but it is true. It is a Galactic Federation. I know we just got to get our brains to it. Like, there's heaps of races here in the neighborhood. They're like, dude, you want to blow each other? You can't blow us up because there's quantum entanglement. Like, points in space and time are linked. You can think you're just blowing yourself up and doing nothing, but there's a string somewhere. You're actually blowing something up in another dimension. You're emitting waves out in other dimensions that is literally just like exploding crap out here and just turning everyone to mush, right? It's like freak accidents out here. Friends, it's kind of like if there was another planet out there with giants and then they had the ability to cause tsunamis here on Earth. And like, doesn't matter. They're like, solar systems away. And we're like, no. You can't. There's tsunamis here. You're killing people with the tsunamis. It's the same thing. Maybe that's the next goal of Elon and others. Go to Mars and find out what exactly happened to wipe out the humanoids on Mars 1 million years ago. Remember, friends, John McMoneagle. So Joe McMoneagle. Keep calling him John. Joe McMoneagle. Remember, he, friends, did the remote viewing. He did the remote viewing of Mars. This is it. They got I remember I covered it in my video as well. So he did. Well, this is 8 years ago, right?
In May of 1984 at the Monroe Institute.
That's awesome. So they gave him an envelope. He didn't know what was in it. He said Mars a million years ago. Mars. Now, Dr. Brandenburg, which I just showed you here on the right. Guess what? If we end up finding out in this, the remote viewing section of the Deep State Coconut Intelligence Agency was literally down the remote viewing section was down the hallway from Mars, researching Mars from all their photo stuff. So that's pretty much what happened. So they found the pyramids on Mars and they're like, hey, we got some pyramid stuff out here. Let's just send it to the remote viewing guys. Let's see if you can get anything on this. And that's what that's pretty much he was able to remote view, and then he found out everything's dead. They said he got this impression like they'd been there a long time. It was dead, and they were waiting for their ship to return. There'd been a big wipeout of sorts. The atmosphere's gone, and it was a million years ago. Yes, it was just very, very old. And the humans, you got the picture up here. There were pictures drawn. The humans there that were drawn were twice the size of us. Here is the actual pyramid out here. So this is where he actually. This is it, where he remote view down here, the pyramid, remote view, and there's a canyon there. So it was basically built after the canyon, and actually have the this is the Martians, friends, actual Martians. So yes, this is what he basically said. He goes, they were very tall. He goes, these pyramids, he goes, they're huge. He goes, they're like larger than anything we ever have on Earth. Like these are enormous. So these are they are giants up here. Wow, that's wild. Now. The thing is, I think with Mars, I think its gravity is half as dense as us. I think. Does that make sense? If you any of you do the science thingies, any science dudes or dudettes out there, because the gravity's less, so it makes sense that it can support basically larger weights. Yes, because if the gravity was heavy, yes, your bones and stuff get crushed. So the Martians out here, they're giants. Now, this is, friend, just to let you know, okay, so I'm telling you this, this is ancient story stuff. So it was true. All ancient biblical, ancient Mayan texts, all the stories were that humans, our ancestors came from Mars. We used to live on Mars, and they would teleport here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And they were giants, and they came here. So there are giants that used to live on Earth. But now we know where they came from. I guess they were like descendants of like real Martians. I wonder how we came around. Are we part of them? Are we just midget Martians? Right? Are we just the smaller ones of that? I don't know. I guess we've got, if you're being born today, congratulations. You'll get to see a Bitcoin at $10 million plus. Maybe $100 million. Quite the $100 million. And you get to see more about, the human mystery about what happened to these stories. Now, obviously, Mr. Alien dudes, they could just come tell us right now. But they're like, no, watch the movie. Watch the movie. I don't want to spoil the movie. You're watching the movie. You're sitting in the cinema seat. You're eating your popcorn. Your cute little buttered popcorn with a bit of salt in there. It's got to be tasty, friends, You have any little Slurpee. They don't want to ruin the movie for you. That's simulation, man, bro. We know you have the answers. Just tell us all the answers. It's on a grand scale. It's cool. So next stop, right? Next stop, friends. That's why when you see stuff like this, man, friends, I remember seeing that. I'm like, maybe it was just someone's playing trick on me. No, it's all real. It's all real. Here is Elon. We will occupy Mars in 8 years. Maybe not occupy Mars. I mean, like, Elon's still trying to knock up chicks in the back alleyway to have kid number 13, 14, and 15 along the way. I love reading the comments as well. Mr. Light Scout. Can't wait until Elon lands an army of Optimus robots to explore, particularly the places that look like ancient cities. Look into what the asteroid belt is, the real truth, and how it's created. So I've got to look at that. So the asteroid belt, very controversial. Still people say that humans can't get through the belt. Yeah, so that's why a lot of the space is a hoax stuff and simulation things they come from, because there's still no proper explanations for a lot of these. There still isn't. What's going on? Are we given special access when we cross? Do the alien ships come and protect us with a barrier to allow us to pass through? I don't know, awesome. So yeah, Red Pill, of course, we've got the Mars on Pulse chain. We might find a lot of the mindshare stuff increase from this as well. Mr. Jeremy Scott, bro, don't buy into the psyop. They can't even map out the bottom of the ocean, much less the heavens. Well, here's the thing, sir. They can do it. They're just choosing not to. But yeah, the bottom of the ocean is also a big one. Obviously, we know one. Just to let you know, friends, bottom of the oceans, why aren't they all mapped? Okay, we have alien bases here. They've been watching us the whole time. Yeah, they have them underground. They're underground. They've got a couple of mountains. One of them's actually in Australia. I forgot what the others were. I think there's one in South America. I'm sure they're everywhere. There's one in Antarctica. There's like 4 big main ones. If I know about them, there's 4. Like, if we're retardio monkeys and we know about 4, they're probably everywhere. We've already been in space time and yes, it's wild. And obviously they don't want us to go there. They do not want us to go there. Okay, they morph, they move things around. Do not come and interrupt humans. Just keep living your life. So remember, friends, NASA doing emergency Photoshop editing on Mars pictures. It's obvious, right? They're hiding stuff. We have to go there next. That's to continue the story. Before, it'll shock people too much to learn that there's actually giant praying mantis bug aliens. But they're like, okay, why don't you go learn about the giant human ones? Because they're still human. They look human. They're not that scary. They're just you, but bigger. And they lived somewhere else a million years ago. And they had nuclear bombs like you guys do. We go learn about that part. And then, that'd be funny. Man, that's wild. It's just wild. I'm like, when I was a kid, all these were fictional stories. And now with the power of the internet, see what you can do is you can sit here and you pile on all the information together and you go, wait a minute, you've been lying to me the whole time, you sack of crap. You've been lying to me the whole time. But then as well, once your brain expands more from a peanut brain to maybe a mildly larger size peanut brain, we also get to see, if you are the Matrix creator, if you're like Mr. Aliens and the UFO phenomena, this is just how the story has to go. Otherwise, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't work. Civilization breaks down. Weird stuff happens. Right? It's maybe they might say, "Hey, man, we've done this thousands of times before. Just shut up and get in line." All right? Your Nirvana's coming. If you want to get into the Galactic Federation, this is what you got to do. But yeah, it doesn't help that NASA keep brushing off the videos and brushing out these pictures, but they've still been going viral, right? Shout out to Richard Johns. NASA is a fraud, fake, phony nursery rhyme that sums it up in the clown word. Yes. I didn't know that, friends. I thought NASA, when I was younger, I thought NASA was cool, kids and rockets and little observatories. No. They're actual full psyops against human population. But they could be controlled by the phenomena as well. Once you start opening your mind to that, you go, oh, okay. Because the phenomenon might be like, nah, screw you guys. They might be looking at us like, oh, you and I, our memories of this life, we're going to be gone in like 100 years anyway, you know? And then they're trying to plan us for the next 100,000 years. Okay, you and I just like little pin drop now. We'll come back in another life, right? Maybe Bitcoin will be finally above $100,000 by then again. And maybe our pulse X is maybe above sacrifice price with pulse chain. Maybe by then. We'll see, friends, 100,000 years. Now, Mr. Dr. Brandenburg, friends, I'm going to share with you just some clip here. There's a point in here, man. When he learned about people blowing each other, killing themselves on Mars, he started crying. Yeah, he gets emotional. He says here, she mentioned he starts crying. And then like, he's like, why? He's like, it's just because he like realized, oh, we might do that to ourselves. They actually ended themselves. Like there's an actual way to die. Like the aliens can't, Mr. Alien UFO phenomenon, they can guide you, but they can't do everything for you. We're like, whoa, we really are in control.
With you, when we found the second face, we also found shots of the first face in Viking pictures showing it illuminated at morning, so you could see that it was symmetrical, right and left. And then I'd found and digested the isotopic evidence. And when it all kind of sitting in my office, it all hit me. I wept like a child for about 4 minutes.
Why?
Because they were all dead. It looked like a thermonuclear holocaust and had happened there. And we were so afraid it would happen on Earth, working at Sandia Labs. And I just was just overcome with grief. After a few minutes, I said, get a hold of yourself. I said, get a hold of yourself, get a grip. You know, and I said, don't be sad, be happy. Because now you know. Now you know. The universe has no safety net. Bad things can happen in the universe, and make sure they don't happen here. So I became very, very dedicated at that point to see that we have a human mission to Mars, boots on the ground, to find out exactly what happened on Mars, to make sure it doesn't happen here. That's my focus.
Isn't one popular theory, even in, again, conventional circles, that Mars had a magnetosphere?
Yes,
and that allowed for water to exist and stuff, and that its magnetosphere was somehow stripped?
Well, Mars is only half the size of Earth. It has about 1/8 the mass of Earth. What that means is its core would have cooled off quicker, and the molten core is what allows the liquid iron dynamo that generates the magnetic field on Earth.
So these are obviously very sexually invigorating physics terms. So what do you think about that, friends? Does it make you emotional, thinking like, wow, you can blow each other up? We got to laugh a bit. Wow. The game actually, it's Diablo hardcore mode. Yes, you can't buy your character back. It's one life. You die, you're dead. Permanently from the server, you got to restart a new character. Does make you think. And they were fighting a million years ago, man. It makes you your mind could run wild with the amount of jokes you could make. Like, I wonder what it was that made them fight. You remember what it was, right? So I think about the story that we're going to be uncovering soon. This part's called Mars Cover-Up.
Politics and agendas. Jet Propulsion Lab versus, the robotic space program versus the human space program based at Houston. But it also has to do with the chilling effect on American science and global science because of the UFO cover-up. I can say the Mars bone is connected to the UFO bone, and the UFO bone is connected to the head bone of this government.
And so it would be disruptive from like we are the sole authority on Earth, or disruptive from a religious perspective, and it would just kind of upset people's worldviews and mass or something?
There's a great deal to that, and that's kind of old-fashioned thinking. If the public's understanding and awareness has evolved sufficiently now that if you told them there was life on Mars, they would just accept it, especially this bacterial life. And even a dead civilization on Mars is not threatening. It's not going to invade us.
We've gone so far beyond. We're saying that there are saucers and hangars at aerospace corporations and stuff. And people are getting into all this psychic stuff. There's the number one podcast in the country for a bit was the telepathy tapes. And you're saying that people can't believe that, a million years in the past, there was life on Mars. If anything, we live in this multipolar world that's a complete powder keg where you have mutually assured destruction between global powers that have nuclear arsenals. It would be an amazing wake-up call.
Oh, it would be. It'd be wonderful. But at the same time, you got to realize the public needs to be brought up to speed. It's once you find life on Mars, then you know there's life in the stars. It's just a given. If it's here on Earth and it was on Mars and it's still on Mars, by the way, there's a remnant biosphere there, and we have very strong evidence for that. Then people know that there's life elsewhere in the cosmos. They've gotten over the first hurdle. The second hurdle is, are we the only intelligent life in the universe? And then you find the Martian archaeology, and then you realize, oh, no, we're not the only intelligent culture in the universe. There's a dead humanoid civilization. It's interesting. The faces look human. They don't look like lizard men. They don't look like praying mantises. They don't look like little gray aliens.
You think the faces are fake? Because there is a concept called pareidolia.
Sure.
Where you see a face because it's a pattern that you're used to seeing or whatever.
Yeah,
and so you're sure that face is a monument that was specifically built to
it's slightly eroded like all archaeology. You look at pictures of the Sphinx when it was first photographed, It looks like hell. Yeah. They've spruced it up a lot for the tourist bureau in Egypt because it's money, and people want to come there and see this good face. But the thing is that there's pareidolia, and there's also another phenomenon in Egypt. It's called denial. It's called denial. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. There's what's called a reverse hallucination. Means you see a pattern there clearly, but you deny it exists because the implications of it are unacceptable.
So who is covering this up? Who's at the top of the pyramid, so to speak? No pun intended. Understanding, that there is, because one more piece of evidence. You have Chaim Eshed, who ran the Israeli version of Space Force. So all their, space signals, comms. I think he won some national security award for Israel 3 times or something.
Absolutely.
He's very well respected.
Yes, he is.
And in conventional circles. And I actually am in touch with an understudy of his who speaks
very good.
And
the Mossad knows.
Yeah,
the Mossad, they know. It's their business to know.
I'm sure they do. And so, and hopefully, I would love for Chaim to speak and for him to come out, because that would be such an amazing crossing of the Rubicon as far as his background and credentials. And he's getting older, but he says that there's a Galactic Federation, that there are factions of aliens fighting each other, and that there are American astronauts working with aliens underground in Mars. That there's a biosphere underground or something. Does that seem crazy to you?
I'm amazed he's saying that.
Let's talk about a guilt-free alternative to alcohol. That's perfect.
So yeah. How interesting is that, by the way? They're talking about that. So Galactic Federations and all these things. It is wild. Actually, it's because it's so interesting. Let's actually continue again.
All it requires is a nice breakthrough in propulsion and contact. Then it's certainly plausible in a science fiction sense. I tend to believe that we should just have a public program to send astronauts to Mars. But my basic thing is 1, 2, 3. You go, there's life on Mars, past and present. Mm-hmm. There's a dead civilization on Mars that look just like us and built stuff that looks like us. It's not a threat to us. It's not threatening. Mm-hmm. They look primitive. They look Bronze Age. Mm-hmm. They look human. And they're dead. And did I forget to mention, they're dead. They can't invade us. And that means, but something happened up there that looks like it may have been that they were attacked from space by somebody else. We have to go up there to Mars and find out what happened as quickly as possible to make sure it doesn't happen here. And you don't tell me you're going to send a bunch of rovers up there. You could drive rovers around Cydonia Mensa for years and maybe not find anything. You have to go up there and dig. Ask any archaeologist. Archaeology is based on digs. You have to get astronauts or with tools, shovels. They have to dig down. They have to find hieroglyphs and
you think at
so we have to go up there.
The final, I keep saying the final piece of evidence. Another interesting data point is Donald Trump on Joe Rogan Experience. He immediately pointed to Mars.
Yeah. So, what do you think about all that? The next frontier, man. If this turns out to be true, I think I'm gonna have to start watching some science fiction stuff, friends. As a kid, I was never interested. Nah, never gonna happen. Not real. There's no interest. But if it turns out, there's an example that Mars got blue. Can you imagine what's gonna happen to society if we find out? So I don't know the answers. I don't know. But what if it turns out some lizard civilization just popped them, blew them up? Wow, that'd be crazy. Society won't be able to handle that. Then they get over it. We're moving quite fast. Disclosure's coming. They're going to have to disclose stuff. They're like, no, there are aliens. Okay, the first it's like, no, there's no aliens. Okay, don't worry, no, there are aliens, but they're dead. Okay, they're not all dead. Just some of them are dead. The close ones are dead. But don't worry, they're not threatening. And the next one, no, okay, some of them are threatening, but there's actually good ones out there, and they're looking after us. And then you find that, okay, the good ones are actually bad as well, but... oh, man, that's going to be funny. Oh, man, it's crazy. We're moving lightning speed. That is disclosure stuff, man. We're waking up. Everyone's learning. Friends. I talk to people in real life all the time. Every single person who spends more than 14 seconds on this, the connection starts fitting in their head. Remember, friends, you and I, right, we're speaking through the internet, but our consciousness, we're like satellites. We're downloading it from like this cloud server pool. And because you and I are up to speed with UFO stuff faster, the human population as well, the rest of the normies out there, we're all learning it really, really, really fast. Oh boy. I wonder if they can make us Pokemon though. Like, subscribe, baby, and I'll catch you soon.